let's talk about Jay-Z and Beyonce. And for those who don't know, there's been a lot of controversy about this couple. So many astrologers, psychics, and mediums believe that in 2024, there's going to be some type of uproar in their relationship. And some people even see Beyonce or Jay-Z taking the next step and moving on past this relationship. Some people think that it has to do with a lot of the energetic ties that Jay-Z has with P. Diddy. They often say birds who fly together or flock together or like similar or something. Whatever the case may be, a lot of people know that Jay-Z has had a lot of infidelity in the past, and they feel that this is all starting to catch up with him. And if you hang out with P. Diddy and be as close as the two Seans were, there must have been some type of conspiracy or area to be very similar. And we all know what P. Diddy has been accused of lately, allegedly. And we can't deny that Beyonce and Jay-Z actually have like a 13-year age gap. So some people believe that there are elements of Jay-Z that's keeping Beyonce like smothered down because he married her at such a young age. And in all honesty, maybe she needs to like experience the world more. I mean, that's not coming from me. I'm just saying what people are saying. I personally think that Jay-Z has had a strong influence on Beyonce, and I do think that he continues to as well. However, I think that Beyonce is definitely one of the most talented women in this world, and she's probably is the one who up-leveled him. I'm just saying. And a lot of people say that Beyonce's demeanor has been a little bit off, and it seems like just something is wrong. And I just want to say this isn't my idea because in all honesty, this is my first time ever reading Jay-Z's birth chart. But since so many people have talking about 2024 is going to be a difficult year for Jay-Z, I decided, okay, why not? Because in all honesty, I'm not a huge Jay-Z fan, but I do like Beyonce. So a lot of people believe that the reason why Jay-Z might have such a hard time is because we are in this karmic cycle of the energy turning, especially as we have Pluto switching over to Aquarius for the long haul, and this is known as the age of Aquarius. Also, this is the year of 8, which is known as a Saturn type energy, the number 8. So this feels very karmic, as a very karmic year. And also what's interesting is when we think of karmic ties and things of the past, especially we have to think about 15 years ago where Jay-Z was working for his career, whatever it was that he did back then might come back up to like resurface in certain energies in different houses. So when I'm looking at his birth chart, I'm not necessarily looking to see what I might think might happen, but technically speaking, Jay-Z is a Sagittarius sun, and we are entering the year of the dragon, so that's not it that's causing this energy alignment that's going to feel. His dominant planets and his dominant energy are around his 3rd and also his 2nd house, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. He's also believed to be a Virgo rising, which is interesting because Beyonce is a Virgo sun. And it's believed that in his 1st house, he has his Libra moon. His ascendant of Virgo is literally like right dab in the middle of his 1st and his 12th house. In his 3rd house, he has his Venus, his Neptune, and also his Sagittarius sun energy. Then when we look at his 1st house, he has his Pluto in 27 degrees, and he currently also has his moon in his 1st house as well, and that is in the sign of Libra. However, his Pluto is in the sign of Virgo, so that makes me feel that if there was some type of indiscretions besides the one that Beyonce knew about, but that more really kind of like showing up. Also in his 1st house, he has his Uranus energy with the sign of Libra. Okay, so there's a couple of things I want to talk about when we talk about this Libra energy with Uranus and also with Pluto. We have to remember that the Pluto is still aligned with that energy of the Virgo. So maybe there are some karmic ties that are going to be exposed with collective, especially when it has to do with like domestication of like women, like his wife, and also having that duality of the secrets and that energy of the hoochie mamas or the side chicks or what he's done in the past with his best friend. Also, when I think about Uranus, I always think about Aquarius, and we are in that energy of where Aquarius will be basically transitioning over that space, right? We have that Pluto energy with Aquarius, with Uranus in the sign of Libra for him. So to me, Libra holds that area of justification, justice, and definitely the karmic ties when we think about it in the overall energy of this being a karmic year. But it's also aligned with the South Node, and the South Node currently is in Libra right now. So that energy of the past, of what happened in the past and what may even happen in past lives, is really starting to rule. And another thing that really stood out to me is he had his Chiron in Aries, and I think that is one of the similar transits that also Tupac had as well. So that energy of the wounded healer coming back in Aries again, once again, because Chiron is currently in Aries, will continue to play out. And this doesn't necessarily mean that he was the one wounded, but the people who he has wounded in the past as well. I'm not surprised that Jay-Z is very successful, because when we look at his Jupiter is basically in his sign of Libra, and it is also aligned in his second house. So remember, people who have Jupiter in their career house, which could either be like their 10th house, their second, it really shows a lot of energy where certain things are going to continue to play out in like a beneficial way, in that expansion way where it is beneficial for them, especially with like material gains, that energy of balance. And then plus we have it with Libra, so there's a lot of high energy of indulgence and creating like relationships that feel very indulged in beauty, success, and overall like this glamorous lifestyle that he plays out pretty well. What's interesting to me in actuality is when we look at his fifth house, and his fifth house is in Aquarius. And we have to remember that right now we will have Pluto in Aquarius. That's his family house. That's like that feminine, wounded woman house. So that feminine energy is going to show up. And the fact that he has it Mars, so he has Mars and Pluto together, and currently and now we have a Mars and Pluto together in Aquarius going over his natal fifth house. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't hear more stories coming up, and I'm not surprised about the current stories that we have heard about Beyonce looking a little woo-woo in the Grammys, and maybe that there might be some conflict or they might be heading for a divorce, because we have to remember that Mars in Aquarius is all about secrets that the collective is going to start to see, and it's all about that karmic energy feeling very aggressive. So I wouldn't be surprised if we continue to hear more things. We are talking about the collective matter. In his 11th house is his dark Lilith. And that's all about that energy of the collective. It's also centered with that Leo energy. So I feel like his energy around the shadows of the feminine and that dark feminine of his leadership is really going to be questioned. It's basically in direct correlation or opposition of his third house, which has his Venus energy, which we all know can resemble that energy of love relationships and can also resemble the energy of the feminine. So it's going to be quite interesting what really plays out in this year for him. But I just wanted to do a little bit of his chart because I see a lot of people talking about his chart in the upcoming year. Also, he has his Saturn in his 8th house, and that 8th house is aligned with that Taurus energy, and that's all about that energy of secrets. So maybe his secrets are going to get exposed. especially with this karmic energy being so undeniable. And we also have to remember that Taurus is a fixed sign like Aquarius. So